Welcome to another Sweet Thursday, but a little different. Hello family, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Gravy in the Kitchen. Every Thursday I try to come up with something sweet, delicious, homemade from scratch. And today is no different. We're going to be making blueberry jam. So I have this 8-cup measuring cup full of fresh, we-picked, frozen blueberries. I took out of the freezer a couple days ago. We're going to make blueberry jam. Have you ever heard of this brand of Pectin? It's Pomona's Universal Pectin. It's actually really good if you want to use a low sugar recipe or even a sugar alternative. That's why we're using this. Now we're using blueberries, and for every 4 cups of mushed blueberries, you can add up to 2 cups of sugar. I don't want to add that much sugar. So how they get around it is it comes with some dried calcium. And dried calcium, we need to hydrate. So in this jar, I have a 1/2 cup of water. And we need a 1/2 teaspoon of calcium. And I believe that is what's in here, but we're going to find out together. Oh no, it's more than that. All right, so that's a 1/2 teaspoon. We can save this for a future use. Put the lid on and shake it. Set that aside and let it do its thing. So I'm going to read the instructions to you. We need to wash and rinse our jars. I have them in the oven. I don't have the oven on yet. We're going to heat that up in a bit. And then we have our lids and our rings. So we have to measure our fruit or fruit juice. We have to add the lemon juice. We have to add the proper amount of calcium water. And to our sugar, we have to add the pectin. Then we have to bring the fruit or fruit juice to a boil for 1 to 2 minutes to dissolve the pectin while mixture is returning to a full boil. Remove from heat. Fill jars to a 1/4 inch of top, so we got to give it a 1/4 inch headspace. Wipe the rims, put the lids, etc., etc. So we have to cook it under boiling water for 10 minutes. So I need to get my water going. I need to get the oven on so that the jars can heat up. Then we can start this beautiful process. Let me get all that together and I'll be right back. So I have this pot, which is my 3-gallon stock pot, with water, enough water to cover the jars because we are water bathing, and water bathing means it's a high acidic food. We're putting lemon juice in here. So I have this on medium-low, just heat up slowly. I have the oven set at 200 degrees and I have 12 half-pint measures jars in the oven heating up because we are going to be hot packing. So our content needs to be hot, our canner needs to be hot, and our jars need to be hot. Now these are whole blueberries. So I do want to give them a little smash, cook them a bit before I add the pectin, the lemon juice, the sugar, and the calcium. I do have 1 cup of water in here just to help. So it's 1 cup of water to 8 cups frozen blueberries that have thawed. They're not still frozen, they're thawed. So this is probably going to take about maybe 30 minutes or so to get everything smashed, and I will bring you right back, family. I'm actually using a pastry cutter. Seems to be working better. If you have one of those potato mashers, you could use that. Or you can actually put this in a blender and blend it up really well. I don't want the berries to be completely pulverized. I do want some texture. I think that looks good. So it says we can use up to 2 cups of sugar per recipe. I'm going to start off with 1 cup of sugar per recipe. So in here I have 2 cups of sugar and 2 teaspoons of the pectin. That's going in. Plus we need 2 teaspoons of the calcium water times 2, so 4 teaspoons. I'm going to give that a stir, let it come to a boil. Then we're going to let it boil for about 2 minutes. Our jars are in the oven, warming up to 200 degrees. Our water is in our water bath canner, which is my 3-gallon stock pot, heating up. So as soon as this comes up to a boil, our time will begin. And we need 1/4 cup of lemon juice per recipe, so I'm going to add 1/2 cup. That is everything we need right there. I'm going to let this heat up. I'm going to taste it for sweetness. If I need to add more sugar, not a problem. Oh, family, I'm not adding any more sugar. 2 cups. 1 cup per recipe is plenty. We're into a rolling boil. I had the timer set for 2 minutes. I'm not going to walk away because I do not want this to overflow. And we'll constantly keep it moving. Just stop long enough to make sure it's still boiling. I have it on medium heat, and it's been on medium heat the whole time. And I'm using a wooden spoon just so it's non-reactive. I'm going to have to use a stainless steel ladle to ladle in the jars because I don't have plastic and I don't have a wooden ladle. But that's okay. You want to make sure you're letting it boil for the whole 2 minutes to make sure that pectin and that calcium is incorporated with that sugar and those berries. Timer's up. All right, let's turn the burner off. Ooh, that's going to be warm. And now we're ready to fill some jars. Our canner is hot. I'm not sure how many jars I can get into that canner. We'll do what we can. And we'll have to do a second batch, but that's okay. I want to make sure I get some juice and some berries. I'm going to debubble. Everything's going to get very blueberry. Let's make sure we're at our 1/4, and we are not. Let's add a little bit more. There we go. Debubble. I have some white distilled vinegar and a paper towel. I want to wipe that rim. A brand new lid. And some rings. Fingertip tight and in the canner. Okay, family, I'll bring you right back when we're ready to talk about the canning situation. I was able to get 8 jars in this canner. I'm not sure you can see it, but at the bottom I have a dish towel because you don't want your jars sitting on the bottom of your pan on that burner. So I have a dish towel in there just to elevate it because I do not have a spacer for my stock pot. And then over here, I have about 3/4 of a cup of jelly in this jar. I'm just going to use that as fresh eating. And we have a mess. We have blueberry explosion, but that's okay. It is fine. The remainder of the vinegar, I had just dumped it in my pot. And the reason I put the vinegar in my canning water, I do this both pressure canning and water bath canning, because if you have hard water, and no, I don't have hard water, or if you have any kind of minerals in your water, especially if you're on a well, you have hard water or hard water deposits, that can stick to your canning jars. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still edible. It's just aesthetics. It makes it look cloudy and icky. This is part of Christmas of 2025, and I want them to be pretty. 8 jars, oh, let me put a lid on it. 8 jars is not going to be enough for Christmas this year, so I do have more blueberries in the freezer. Might have to revisit this next weekend. As for the calcium water, I can put that in the refrigerator. I am going to date it. As long as I use this within a week or 2, it'll be fine, and I can just add this to the next batch. I still have in my box, the Pectin box, I have some more Pectin in here. It's probably another 4 teaspoons, which is what we need per recipe when we're doing 8 cups. And I have a little bit more of the calcium dry packet. Now this Pomona's, you can actually do no sugar, artificial sugar, honey, sugar, doesn't matter, because the thickening of it doesn't come from the sugar, it comes from the pectin and that calcium. Well, enough. Back to here. I want this to come up to a roiling boil, like vigorously boil, and I'm going to boil it for 10 minutes. For my altitude, it's 10 minutes. Add 1 minute more for every 1,000 feet you're above sea level. I am below 1,000 feet, so it's 10 minutes. So if you're higher in elevation, up in the mountains, you have to add a minute for every 1,000 feet you're above 1,000 feet of elevation. So once this comes up to a boil, and it has to be a vigorous boil, we're going to let it boil 10 minutes, and then we can turn the burner off, and we have to do the whole 5-minute increments. But for water bath canning, it's actually 10 minutes. So we'll have to turn it off, wait 10 minutes, take the lid out, wait 10 minutes, and then we could take our jars out. In the meantime, I'm going to wash some dishes. So that is what we're looking for, a vigorous boil. Probably could have used a little less water than that, but I already have it in there. I'm not taking it out now. You do want to make sure your jars are covered about 1 inch. 2 inches will be perfect. I probably have about 3 or 4 inches in there. But you need enough water to cover your jars about 1 to 2 inches. And once it reaches that boiling point, you set your timer. For my altitude, it's 10 minutes. For every 1,000 feet above 1,000 feet, you have to add a minute. We have 5 minutes left, family. It's time to take these out of the canner. Isn't that beautiful? Eight beautiful jars of homemade blueberry jam. Love the ping. Love the ping. That means that they are sealing perfect. And this is the one that we didn't put in the canner. Look how thick and luscious that is. We're gonna test this on some bread. Another ping. This is homemade sourdough bread. Nothing better than homemade blueberry jam. And I love chunky jam. Oh, listen to that ping. Still some whole blueberries in there. Oh, I'm so excited. And that's one of the good things about this Pomona's Pectin, is you can double, triple, quadruple the recipe if you want. It's not like the Sure Gel where you have to follow that recipe and it takes so much sugar. I was in North Carolina last summer and Amanda and I made some blueberry jam at her house, and we used the Sure Gel, the yellow packet, and we had to use like 6 or 7 cups of sugar. And I think it was 10 cups of blueberries. Way too much sugar in my opinion. We only put 2 cups of sugar to 8 cups of blueberries because I want the flavor of the blueberry, not the sweetness. And in my opinion, it's perfectly sweet. I'm ready for a bite. I can taste the blueberries. Just enough sugar just to knock off that tartness that blueberries have. Family, this is good. It's like heaven. Oh my goodness. Now you can use any pot for water bath canning. You just have to make sure it's deep enough to have your jars, whether you're doing half pints, pints, or quarts, has to be an high acidic food. Since we added lemon juice in there, so that brought the acidity level up. You can water bath. If your pot doesn't have a rack in the bottom, because my All-American 921 comes with these aluminum trays that fit on the bottom. You put your jars on here, and it comes with a second one if you're doing a double layer. My 3-quart stock pot does not have those little spacers, so all I did was put a dish towel at the bottom. That just helps elevate your jar so it's not sitting on the burner at the bottom of that pot. Any pot can be a water bath canner, and you can can things that are high in acidic food in water bath canning. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today as we made some homemade low sugar blueberry jam that we're going to use as Christmas presents this year. And I do need to make another batch. I have more blueberries in my freezer, so I think this weekend I'm going to do that again. So if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. While you're at it, please hit that subscribe button. You are always welcome in Grammy's family. So until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Make you some blueberry jam. That is so good.